What is up, you guys? It's me, Trevor, back again with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of a shoe tutorial, I guess you could call it. It is the new year now. I'm starting off with a little bit of a shoe video this year. I hope you guys did enjoy your holidays. I know I did. I hope you recovered well. And with that being said, we are back to working after the new year, unfortunately. But I do hope you guys did enjoy the time off that you had. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing, like I said, a little bit of a shoe tutorial. I'm going to be showing you guys how I lace two of my kind of go-to pairs of shoes. So I have these two guys right here. Both of them have been in videos in the past. They are Yeezy 350 V2s and Ultraboosts, and I'm basically just gonna show you guys a couple different techniques or ways you can lace your shoes to make them look a little bit different and add a little bit more flair to your outfit, and just change up your style a little bit. So you don't need either of these pairs of shoes. These are just examples that I'm using in today's video, but if you want it to obviously look similar to what I have and pull off the same silhouette, you will need either of these two pairs in any sort of colorway. So I don't really have anything else to say. We're just gonna hop into the video, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So the first technique, obviously, as you can see here, basically just your standard lace system, just a bow, whatever you want to call it. Pretty easy to do. If you have ever laced a shoe before, you will know how to do this. Don't even know why I'm adding this into the tutorial, but we're just gonna make a knot like that, make a bow on one side, wrap this lace around, and pull through, and you will be stuck with a bow, just like that. Not a fan of this look for this shoe, at least. I've kind of strayed away from it since I've worn these shoes. I just don't really think it suits the shoe very well. Obviously, it's a essential way to lace your shoe. Not my personal favorite, but it definitely is a way if you want to lace your shoe. You get the most lockdown throughout the actual upper of the shoe, which is nice. But if you're looking more for like a casual wear, I suggest straying away from this and probably using one of the few other techniques that I have. But I figured I would show you guys just how these shoes look with that sort of lace system on it. So again, this is just your everyday bow style shoelace. So yeah, let's move on to technique number 2. Alrighty, so for the second technique I'm going to show you guys, it's this guy right here. As you can see, we have this loop right on the tongue, and it's all tightly laced throughout the actual upper of the shoe. This one, people call it straight out of the box or fresh out the box, whatever you want to call it, because when you buy the shoe brand new, typically it'll come with a knot in the laces. And basically this one's actually really easy to do. When starting out, you want to make sure that your laces are roughly the same length. So as you can see, mine are pretty close. I'm gonna pull this one a little bit more. So they're about the same length. So once you have your two laces the same length sticking out, we're going to pinch the laces all the way down to the base of the shoe, like so. We're basically just gonna wrap the two laces around your finger just to make a loop like that. So we have our loop right here and all the excess string. And then you're gonna make another loop and just push it through that first loop that we made. All we're gonna do is grab the base of the laces here and pull tightly. And that is basically the style there. So very easy to do. I used to rock it a lot like this, actually. I thought it's a really cool way to lace your shoes. Suits this shoe extremely well. Also, I just think it's a really unique way to lace your shoes. That is technique number 2. Let's move on to the third technique. So for the third technique, as you can see here, it's basically just this messy, sort of casual looking lace style. I used to wear it like this quite a bit. It's not my favorite nowadays just because I think it's a very messy style. Typically like having it a little bit cleaner, but it definitely is a cool style if you're into that sort of messy, laid back, casual style. So I'm gonna show you guys a cool technique to make sure that you have all of the I guess loop ratios right as you lace these. So we're gonna start unlacing the top loops. And for the first loop, I like to make sure that the laces here are just barely able to touch the ground or the table, whatever you want to call it. So these ones, I could even pull that through a little bit more. And then on this side, it's about the same, so that's good. So that's the first step, is making sure that your laces are just barely touching whatever surface you have underneath the shoe. After that, you're gonna take the second loop here and you'll start pulling it through. So once you have it pulled a little bit further out like that, you're gonna take your finger and put it underneath both loops. So it's making a cross like that. And then you're going to just work the other laces down a little bit until they're about even. So once you have it so that all 4 loops are pulling tightly at the same time, that's about where I stop, making sure that they're all the same size basically. But this is just a good guideline to get about a good approximation when it comes to the loop sizes. And we're gonna do the same to the bottom loops. We're just gonna keep working it until all 4 of these loops are all tight when we pull them at the same time. So something like that is good. You can see they all pull tightly when I put pressure on the actual laces. And then this bottom lace here, right at the bottom, we're just gonna pull that through just a little bit so there's a bit of a gap. I usually go for about a gap that's that big, probably about ½ an inch off the shoe or so. I can get my finger through there. So, and then after that, you're basically just going to kind of play around with the laces until you get them in a spot that you think you are comfortable with. So if you need to, adjust these other ones, you can do that as well. I usually like to pull the middle one through a little bit more, and then you get about the right ratio for your actual bows. That's the easiest way to do this style, in my opinion, is just pulling the 2 loops through at the same time, making sure that they look tight when you pull them both. And then you get left with a look that is similar to this. But the next technique that I have, I prefer over this one, just because I think this one's too messy for my personal liking. But the next one is very similar to this, and it's just a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more casual looking, and I just think it looks a little bit better than this style. So that's technique number 3. Let's move on to the 4th technique, and I'll show you guys what the last lace system is on these guys right here. So for the final lacing style, it's going to be this one right here. As you can see, it looks very similar to the last lace style, just a little bit tighter throughout the actual laces here. And this is my personal favorite out of the 4 that I'm showing you today. All right, so this basically would have been the last style that we would have just done. Very messy throughout the top here. And to do this style, we're basically just going to tighten up all of these laces throughout the upper here. So pull that through, and I'm just leaving a very small gap between the laces. So it's not super loose, but also not super tight. So we got our laces tightened up a little bit, but as you can see, we have all this leftover lace on both sides, and you don't want that flopping around. What we're going to do is we're actually going to look on the inside of the shoe. Right in here, this lace right here, we're going to be pulling this lace back through and shortening up these laces here. Again, I want it to be down to about the bottom of the boost like I had on the last style. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So now we have the laces left where we want them. But then if you look on the inside, you have these 2 loops that are basically just going to get in your way when it comes to actually putting the shoes on. So if we look on the inside of the shoe here, if you can see it on camera, not sure if you can see that, but this lace right here, that's what we're going to be looping this loop through. So we're basically just going to push that through the lace that you can just barely see right there. And now, as opposed to having this big loop there, it's all tucked away on the inside of the shoe very neatly, and you can't see it at all. And it's not going to get in your way when you actually put the shoe on. And that is basically the finished product for that style. I think it looks really clean. It looks casual, still messy, but definitely a lot cleaner than the other style. And I think this one is probably definitely my favorite out of the bunch. So, and that is the 4th and final lacing system I have to show you guys. So now let's move on to the Ultraboosts, and I'll show you guys a few different ways to lace your Adidas Ultraboosts. Alrighty, so for the first lacing system I'm going to show you guys, it's going to be this guy here, very similar to the Yeezy. It's the fresh out of the box one. I meant to show you a different way that you can do it on the Yeezy, but I guess I will just demonstrate it on the Ultraboost here. So with the shoe being completely unlaced, we're going to make sure that our laces are the same length. And then we're just going to start lacing it normally through the lace holes. And these shoes do have flat laces, so you want to make sure that you're not twisting them or anything so they don't get any weird, kinks or anything in the laces. So we have the shoe completely laced. Again, our laces do come to a point, if you can see there. And again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the laces and pinch all the way down to where the shoe is, like that. We will do a loop around our finger again. And then with that loop, we're gonna make a loop with the laces, push it through there, and we're just gonna tighten it up so we get something that looks like this. And then from here, you can just play around with this if you want it to be tighter or looser. You can mess around with it. So it is pretty loose. These are also very thin laces, so it will sit quite loose like that, which is why it's not one of my favorite techniques to use on these shoes. As you can see, this one is a little bit tighter, but I do have a lot of excess lace left over. If you don't like this style here, I'll just undo these, and then I'm gonna go through the top lace hole as well. And then again, we can do the same thing. The laces come to a point, pinch down, make a loop, and push that shoelace through. So this does look a little bit better in my opinion. I also kind of messed up. If you can see here, there's a fold in the lace, so that's what I was talking about. It looks a little bit weird, but yeah, so that's one technique with the bow. And then if you don't like doing the bow this way, we'll grab the laces about halfway, make a loop like so, and then just with the end of the two strings here, we just push it through both loops and then pull tightly, and it basically just makes a knot like that. So I really don't recommend doing it this way, just because you have a lot of lace left over, unless you really loosen up these ones and then just have this kind of sitting on top. But I figured I would show you guys just that technique of how to do the laces this way, in case any of you were wondering that you can wear it that way. So, but I typically like this style a little bit better, just because it looks cleaner in my opinion. So the second way I'm going to show you guys how to lace the shoe is basically just your standard bow, which I actually really like on this shoe. I think it looks a lot better on this shoe than it does with the Yeezy. Yeah, we're just going to do the laces all the way up on the eyelets, and then the last one, we're just going to tie it like any ordinary shoe, and then you're left with that. Looks really clean on these shoes. I actually really like this look. I never really wear it like this, just because I like the other techniques a little bit better. So that's the second technique, just a regular bow on any ordinary shoe. Let's move on to number 3. So for the last technique that I'm going to show you guys for these shoes right here, kind of like, I guess, the Hypebeast lace system, I guess you can call it. So I'm going to show you guys this variant, and then I'm also going to show you my personal way that I would lace it. It's very similar to this, but I just add a little bit more, I guess, cleanliness to it towards the end of the actual lacing system. So to start off, you're going to start off with just the bottom lace going through the shoe, and we're going to start by going through the actual cage of the shoe. We're not going to go through the eyelet or through the lace hole. So I'm just going to pull it through the cage on both sides, and whatever second lace you put through, that's the lace that should go over first. So I just finished with this one going under the cage, so I'm going to start with this one going back over, and I'm going through to the outside. And again, I am keeping it flat. I'm not making any twists or anything in the laces. Next round, so I'm going to go through the cage again. I'm not going through the lace hole in this one. So we pull it through the cage. And then on the last one, you can choose whichever eyelet you'd like to go through, because these shoes have two. I like to just go through the bottom to leave a little bit more space on the tongue here. So I'm just gonna end with going through the bottom lace hole on both sides. And I'm just gonna pull on the cage to loosen up the laces a little bit throughout the upper here. And that is basically the finished style. I actually really like this style, like having the laces floppy on these shoes. I think it looks a little bit better. So this is, I guess, the Hypebeast lace style. That's what people call it. I guess it's the lace style that a lot of people do. But what I do to kind of mix it up a little bit and make it a little bit cleaner is you take your excess laces that you have left over, and instead of going back over, we're just gonna go through the same side. So I'm just gonna take the lace and I'm gonna put it through the top of the eyelet, and I'm only gonna pull enough through so that just the eyelet of the actual lace, or the egglet, whatever this little plastic piece is called, just enough so that that's sticking through, and then I'm gonna fold it over and basically just tuck it under the cage of the shoe. And then all this extra loop I'm just gonna pull back through, and then I'll end up loosening up the rest of these laces here. So I'm gonna do the same on the other side. So I'm quickly going to just loosen up these, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. Alrighty, so there is the finished product. That's how I wear my Ultraboosts on the regular. As you can see, the eyelet is actually tucked behind this cage, so you can't see it. It does sometimes tend to pop out like that, but you can literally just push it back under and continue on. Kind of keeps that mainstream lace system within the silhouette, but I keep it a little bit unique by part of the top rather than having the laces stick out like that. So that is the last lace system that I have for you guys today. Yeah, let's roll the outro. Alrighty, so that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please click that like button. I will also have my Instagram linked in the top of the description. With 2019 coming around, I really am trying to up my YouTube quality game and my Instagram game. I will actually post my most recent picture up on the screen right here right now, along with my Instagram. So if you guys do want to see more of that, definitely go follow me, because I'm trying to post more frequently and also a little bit higher quality. So again, that will be linked in the top of the description. If you are new around here and you did enjoy today's video, definitely consider clicking that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm trying to post more, but it is a struggle for me. And again, if you did enjoy, click that like button. That really helps me out. And also let me know what sort of videos you guys would like to see this year. I'm really gonna crack down, and I'm gonna start doing some, you know, celebrity inspiration challenges and stuff like that. So if you're into that sort of thing, stay tuned, because I will be uploading that sort of video as well this year. But also let me know what you guys want to see, because I'd rather upload videos that you guys want to see as opposed to what I want to post. So definitely do, you know, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I will definitely get back to you. I read every comment that you guys post. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!